Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here, wrapping up my Thursday, October 12th night. It's obviously the wee hours of the Friday morning. Yes, it's Friday the 13th, and yes, the craziness has already started. So I was getting ready to finish up my night. I got a couple rides out to the Bethesda, Rockville area, and I was basically ready to say I'm done. My phone goes off one more time, and I'm like, okay, the guy's right around the corner. Let me go see what it is. I pick up this guy at the bus stop. He's completely wasted. Gets in my car. I'm like, hey, bud, how much have you drank tonight? And, he could barely speak, coherent English. We got in the car. At one point, we're, not even 2 minutes down the road, he looked like he was kind of gurgling. So I pulled the windows down and I stopped and I said, are you going to puke? He said, no, I'm not going to puke. So we got on 270 heading towards Rockville where he lived, and he became belligerent and was banging the seats and banging the car door and talking a whole lot of nastiness to me that I'm not really going to repeat to you guys because I feel it's pretty inappropriate. But he was basically being super disrespectful, and he's wasted. I mean, the guy's just totally wasted. And I pulled over. I said, what's the deal? So we got back on the road again, and then he said, you're going the wrong way. This isn't where I live. He canceled the ride in the Uber app. Of course, at that point, I pulled over onto a side street, and I said, get out of my car. Called the police. Police came. He is now in the back of a police car, and of course, I'm heading home. So there you go. Nobody barfed in my car, thank God. But I just wasted 40 minutes dealing with that idiot and the police. So some nights that's just how it goes. Other than that, kind of a mediocre night. I did not hit 200. I'm somewhere in the 170s. I was thinking about this evening, honestly. So I can excuse yesterday's poor numbers because, I basically got a stomach bug or whatever, and it just wasn't feasible to be trapped in a car with what was going on with my system. Let's call it that. But Tuesday was kind of a soft night, 150, 128, not even 150. My head was not in the game that night. It was just kind of a rough week for me. It's just a weird week. And tonight was going pretty well. It was actually pretty steady. But I would still be driving if I was in the city, but I'm not. I got called out into the suburbs, and it was, I'm far enough away from DC that there's no point in driving back to DC at, 1:30 in the morning on a Thursday. So, but ending on a really weird kind of Friday the 13th crazy note, just a funky week. So, that's that. I don't know what to say. I'm just shaking my head because it's just craziness. But, look, other than that, I had a really great evening. I had some really good conversations, really, really good customers. It felt like a back in the saddle day. My stomach is about 99% recovered. And, I was fine. I was good to go. My Quest goal for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is very, very good. It's 65 trips, which is always the number of trips, for $155. That's great. That's the strongest yet. So maybe that's to compensate for the crappy Quest Monday through Thursday. I don't know. But I'm thrilled about that. So, do I feel a little defeated going home early, on a Thursday night, really not having made $200? Yeah, a little bit. But I know that I can just crush the weekend and I'll make it up in the weekend. I know that'll happen. And that's just, sometimes that's the way it goes, guys. I didn't think this weird 1,300 fluke week last week was a norm. I really didn't. Will I get my 1150? Yeah, I will. There's no doubt about that. I will fight for that this weekend. But it's been a funky week. I got some personal stuff going on with my mom. My mom is older, and she's she's just a source of stress right now in my life. And unfortunately. And, you know, so I have that was kind of tainted my Monday or my Tuesday. And, you know, then yesterday I had like a bad experience with a salad, whatever, you know, we're not going to go into gross details, but it was just an unpleasant experience with a salad that went through my system. And, you know, really that is the Achilles heel of this career, is that if your stomach plays up, you know, being in a car is not a good thing. You know, that is almost the hardest thing to accomplish, especially if you're driving in an urban area at night, because there are very few places you can use a restroom, and they're spread out. I mean, none of the gas stations in DC have bathrooms. None of the 7-Elevens have bathrooms, at least not any of the good ones. Most of the Safeways do, but, you know, there's not that many Safeways. So, you know, you got to drive to get to a restroom, and that if your stomach is torturing you, that's not easy. And that's basically what happened. Was, you know, my stomach was just playing havoc, and you know, you can only do that for so long before you just say enough is enough. I mean, you're not productive at that point. You're not making money because you're wasting your time running around looking for restrooms, and you know, at that point you're better off just saying enough is enough. And that's what I did. But you know, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I can chalk up a bad day here and there. Tonight was kind of mediocre. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't really great. You know, I would say it's kind of on the lesser scale of average. You know, have I been a little bit spoiled lately with $200 Thursdays for the past few weeks? Yeah. You know, they're not all going to be that way, though, and I understand that. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, as long as we make our number by Sunday, that's all that matters. You know, will I have to work a little bit harder for the next couple days? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. So, you know, that's that. Other than that, you know, I've had some really good feedback and some really weird feedback recently. You know, some of you guys that I've been communicating with, you know, via text or via YouTube, I'm really, really happy to see that you guys are successful and you're finding your own way. And some of you guys have completely gone in like a different, you know, path than I have. You're driving different times, you're driving different areas, but, you know, you've really just kind of like, you know, you're just attacking it with that level of enthusiasm and vigor that is just awesome. You know, just to me, it's awesome to hear that there's other people out there successful. Just makes me that much more enthused about my job. You know, I don't get depressed when I hear somebody else is doing good. I want other people to do well. I want us all to do well. So that part is awesome. I've had a couple weird ones on, you know, on the videos lately. You know, somebody that I used to drive, you know, when I was driving at BWI, you know, somebody that I used to drive with at BWI was left a weird comment on one of my older videos today, which was, I don't know, I couldn't figure it out. I went back and rewatched the video, and there wasn't really anything in it that didn't make sense. So you know, maybe he left a comment on the wrong video. That's the only thing I can think of. But you know, I know my videos aren't for everybody. I get that, and I know that you know, like even on Facebook, when I try and promote what we're doing here, not everybody gets it. You know, some people think that I'm like money grubbing or glory hound or whatever. Like, I don't know what to, you know, I don't. There's no money involved because I'm way too small potatoes. You know, you don't make money doing YouTube videos until you have thousands of viewers. And I have 54, which I'm awesome. I think 54 is amazing. Like, I'm so happy that all of you guys are watching my videos. Don't get me wrong. I'm thrilled that I have 54 subscribers. To me, that is just the awesomest thing on the planet. But in YouTube's eyes, I'm like a little tiny speck. And if you go online, you just go to their website. I mean, it's all right there. It tells you what the requirements are, and, you know, for that whole incentivized ad money thing, and their requirements for the direct link, which is what we're shooting for. I do want the web link where I can just say, BaltimoreRides.com, and it will link to my channel instead of that weird YouTube gibberish letters, numbers nonsense that I have to cut and paste. That would be great, because then I could really, put it on my business cards. I could put it on my Facebook page. Like, I could just find ways to direct more people to the channel, easier, because I give out my cards to new drivers all the time, or to people that are interested in driving all the time. But I can't really put that YouTube link because it's just a hot mess. I mean, it's one of those kind of weird, funky code web addresses. It's not an easy thing to say. So, yeah, there's that. I mean, I do want at some point to be able to direct people to the information in an easy format. That's my ultimate goal, is to really find a way to, make some sort of a format where people can get to this information readily available. I just want it there at a moment's notice for people. And this whole video diary experience that I do is, really kind of like the rough draft of that. I've talked about it a little bit, but, I would love to come up with some sort of a tutorial format for new drivers, and I'm not at all at that stage yet. But what we're doing here with me rambling on, talking about my experiences, is kind of like the beginning of that. It's kind of the infancy stage of that. It's me giving you guys my trials and tribulations, and then you guys learning from it so you don't make the same mistakes that I make. And that's half the battle, honestly. So, so that's that. So, do I think I'm ever going to get those ridiculous number of subscribers like some of those famous people on YouTube? No, I know I'm not. Am I thrilled just to have all of you guys? I'm absolutely thrilled. Every day I look on the channel and, 1 or 2 new people have subscribed, or there's people viewing my videos that I've never known before. So that's all awesome stuff, guys. And I hope you guys are sharing my information too. If you guys come across anybody in your travels that's a new driver, point them this way so that they can learn the same way everybody else is learning. That's what this is about. I drive every night. That's how I make money. That's my way of paying my bills. This is just something I'm just doing. It's like a pay it forward type thing. I want to. It's like, it's important to me to do this right now, so I'm doing it. I know that doesn't always make sense. I try and explain it to people all the time, and some people get it, and some people look at me like I'm crazy for doing this. And I can't blame them. I mean, maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know, but I just feel this strong desire to want to help people. To want to help you guys get better. I think that we're an industry that is very much solitary. We don't generally talk to each other very well. There isn't really a whole lot of communication, and the company, Uber, Lyft, whoever, they spoon feed us information in a very measured way, and it's specifically the information they want us to have. So, and some of that is PR. Some of that is very much PR to evoke a response. But some of that is, important information that they think we need, and some of it is really unimportant, just junk. But they don't really help us get better at our job. They're not really helping us make more money. They're not doing that. They may modify the app or update some things or tweak some things here and there, but they're not saying, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, you will be more successful. They just don't. And I'm not really sure why. But I have some inklings on it, but that's a conversation for another day. But that's where, I feel like those of us that are out there on blogs, on Facebook pages or forums or videos or whatever, we're all out there trying to help each other. And that's what it's about. And I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert at any of this stuff. I feel like I'm a novice who's learning alongside you guys. I started in May. Some of you guys have been driving before me. Some of you guys have been started after I did. But we're all at varying levels of understanding in this whole thing. And we all kind of have tips and tricks. And, some of you guys have shared some stuff with me. And like I said, there's people driving in the mornings and driving, in different areas, and they're finding success doing it. So, that's what this is all about. A couple people that are watching my videos are now making channels of their own, and I think that's awesome too. If you are, send me the link or send me an invite so I can subscribe. Do something so that I can subscribe to you, because maybe you guys are going to come across things that I haven't come across. That's what this is about, is sharing the knowledge. Sharing the knowledge. That's all it's about. But I'm going to sign off now, guys. Like I said, a little bit of a funky week. Definitely a funky week. Not bad, not good. I don't really look at it in terms of good and bad. I'm too optimistic of a person for that. But definitely weird. No doubt about that. Definitely weird. So, we'll come back at it tomorrow and Friday the 13th, and, we'll see how that goes. Friday the 13th started off on a very weird note for me tonight. I don't like having to call the cops about passengers. So, there you go. I've only had to do that a couple times, and it's not fun. So, there you go. But, make sure if you do have a bad experience with a passenger that's, really belligerent, really rude, semi-violent, threatening, disrespectful, any of those really nasties, make sure you call Uber right away and let them know. Because even if you boot that guy out of your car, chances are he's just going to try and request another Uber. And, then some poor other schmuck is going to get him, and he's going to do the same exact thing to that poor soul. And it might even escalate at that point. So, they blacked him. They blocked his app so that they can investigate it. And obviously he can't request any rides until then. And the police are going to do whatever they do with him. I don't know if they're going to take him to the jail to sleep it off. I don't know if they're going to give him a ride home. I don't know what their angle is going to be. I just know that he's not, he's not cool. He's a not cool dude right now. He's too drunk and a little bit too aggressive. So be safe out there, guys. A lot of times the horror stories that we talk about are just the weird ones, the pukers, the goofy people. But every now and then we do get some of these really, really strange ones where you want to just go, oh shit. And, I talked to a cop the other night. I was actually giving him a ride home, him and his girl. He was off duty, and, they were just out for the night. And he said, you know what? Even though that, the legalities are kind of fuzzy, and that, it's tricky in Maryland sometimes with the whole two-party consent, he says, get yourself that dash cam, put it back up, protect yourself, because, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's literally what he told me. He said, in the eyes of the law, that's it. Something happens, you're better off having that camera. Even if it's not 100% legal to record, you're better off having that camera. So, this evening's experience just reaffirmed that. So I'm going to look into either re-putting together the whole GoPro thing, or maybe just spending the money and buying a professional dash cam that's rear and forward facing. So I'm going to do some homework, but I'm going to try and get something up and running in the next week or so, or order something pretty quickly, because I'm convinced that now that I'm doing city driving again and not airport driving, I'm going to encounter, people that are weird. And I'm not going to take chances. So that's that, guys. Sorry for the weird vibe tonight. It's definitely kind of a funky video. I get that. And I'm rambling. I'm all over the place subject matter wise. But, be safe out there. That's the only thing I can really stress the most, is be safe out there. Nothing is more important than you guys getting home in one piece at night. Nothing's more important than your passengers getting where they're going in one piece, and everybody, going home to their loved ones. So, whether it's a forward-facing camera because of crazy drivers, whether it's a rear-facing camera for crazy passengers, or whether it's just, having the discretion to know when to say enough and to pull over and, make that judgment call that it's time to end this ride. you know, be safe. That's all I can say, guys, is be safe, because I don't want anything bad to happen to any of you guys. I really don't. So everybody have a great night, get some rest, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.